When I first saw the announcement for this product, I was stoked, like beyond stoked, and I wanted to get my hands on them as soon as I could. And here we are right now. If you don't know what this is the Bedrock Sandals Mountain Clog. And it is literally one of the best shoes I've ever used. And I never thought I would say that about a clog, but my goodness, this is an amazing shoe. But to preface this, I'd been looking at this shoe for a lot of reasons. One, clogs are awesome. Like, they're just awesome. You can't deny it. They look cool. They are super convenient. And yeah, they're just awesome. But to have Bedrock Sandals make a clog, kind of take their design philosophy from their sandals and just put all that into a shoe, that's what caught my attention. Because a lot of companies can make a clog, but sometimes the clogs aren't robust enough, or maybe they don't have the certain details that really matter for making comfortable footwear. And Bedrock Sandals has pretty much nailed that for their shoe design. Like, they make amazing adventure sandals, and they're really rugged, they're robust, they have great resole programs, they have great warranty. There's a lot of things that they do that are just awesome. And when you take all those things and put them into a clog, you get an amazing product. So that was one thing that I was stoked about, just seeing that Bedrock Sandals was going to make a clog. The other thing I was looking at it for was the pure convenience of having a clog for climbing. Yeah, for climbing. Now, this clog is definitely advertised from Bedrock as kind of the shoulder season shoe, so you don't have to feel like you're putting away your sandals, and something that you can wear with your big old thick wool socks. And that's definitely true. Like, this is an amazing clog for that. I do a lot in these clogs. I do daily stuff, day-to-day things. I've done light hiking in them. They can handle way harder hiking. Like, you can do a lot in these clogs, and there's really not too much of a limit to them. Maybe just a little bit in terms of like waterproofing, because there's an open back. But like, I've done a lot in these, and being able to use them as like a climbing approach shoe, it's been awesome. Like, I was looking for something that I could wear that would offer easy in and out. Like, normally, if you were going to go climbing, you'd have to take your approach shoes off, you'd have to take your socks off, then put your rock climbing shoes on, and then if you wanted to go climb another boulder, you'd have to take climbing shoes off, put your socks on, and then put your approach shoes on. And that's all a big process. Whereas with these, like, you can wear socks approaching to the crag, but these work without socks just fine. I know there's been a couple times now that I've gone climbing, whether it be dry tooling or rock climbing, that I start with socks on and I don't end with socks on, and I do the approach out without socks, and that's perfectly fine. Like, these clogs are meant to be used for with socks and without socks. So they just work, and they work really well. Like, this clog offers a lot. They offer security in the straps, and I think that's something that Bedrock did amazing. And then I think that's a really good pro of this clog is you get Bedrock's ingenuity for their kind of strap system. Like, it has all the details that you'd want. Like, it's got the little pull quick adjust tab that's really nice for on the fly to get them on and off. And you got more of the kind of permanent kind of metal buckle and webbing, so you can kind of really figure out what volume you need. And that same is on the back too. And that's something that I actually really liked about my Karen Evo Pro sandals, is that they have this aluminum buckle with this webbing, and it creates a very secure fit that won't change. Like, once it's locked in place, it's just locked in place. And I guess having more security in a clog like that does lead it to it performing as a really good approach shoe, because sometimes on approaches you have to go on a lot of uneven terrain and a lot of funky terrain, a lot of rocky terrain, and that kind of terrain is more indicative of a more secure kind of approach shoe. But these do everything an approach shoe kind of does, especially with like a lighter weight approach shoe. Like, think about the La Sportiva TX2 Evos. Those shoes are lightweight, they're not stiff. They're like, if you're going to use them for climbing, you'd smear in them. These are basically the same thing almost, or at least they're the same thing in my experience. They've been fantastic for using as an approach shoe, and really, they have been awesome, and they're exactly what I wanted them to be. Everything from the Vibram outsole, which uses Vibram Mega Grip, and that's another reason why I looked at these as being potentially a good approach shoe. I mean, most approach shoes these days are using Vibram Mega Grip for their outsole. You get that sticky rubber that's pretty durable, but just has good friction against the rock. And these clogs have it. So that was one thing that I was like, yeah, these would be an amazing approach shoe just due to the outsole. And then, like I mentioned, like these can be used without socks. And the nubuck version of the clog has a liner on the inside. It's got like a mesh lining, so you don't have to worry about sweat or anything. It would also be fine to use them with the regular tan leather, but the nubuck just gives you that little liner, so you don't have to worry about sweat. And even speaking about the nubuck, like most approach shoes these days, if they're leather, they're using nubuck leather, and these feel like the same leather as any of my other approach shoes, so they're going to be durable. They're going to perform really good for a lot of years, and they're just going to work really good. And it is worth to note too that these clogs are really comfortable. Like they're not just comfortable in the uppers and the strap and everything. Like the footbed is really comfortable as well. And it's actually a wider platform than a lot of Bedrock's other sandals. Like even the regular sandals are not as wide as this clog. And that is worth to note that they did switch the sizing. Like the sizing of this clog is completely different from their sandals, and it's pretty different even from their new sizing with their sandals. And for reference, I have a size 11, and I actually did get to try out the size 10, which I should normally be because they don't do half sizes, they only do whole sizes. So if you're a 10 and a half, you're either going to go to an 11 or you're going to go to a 10. And I've got to say, size up. Like, I could have made the 10 work, but my toes were definitely at the end and they weren't comfortable. Whereas this 11, it fits perfectly. And I was kind of weary at first, but no, it fits perfectly. And I had read some kind of reviews on the Mountain Clog, and people were debating about either upsizing or downsizing. And I'd read that a couple people had upsized and it felt amazing, but I decided to downsize. I shouldn't have done that. Should have went for the upsize. I did go for the upsize, and it works perfectly. Like for my thickest mountaineering socks, I can wear them in here and they feel perfect. And that's actually something that I was able to use them for when I first got them, because I got these clogs towards the end of winter, so it was still ice climbing season. I was able to use these as kind of my driving and commuting shoe to go to ice climbs. So like in the car, rather than having my mountaineering boots on or anything else, I just slide these on and it was super comfortable. Like I've done a couple of bigger drives before where I just like put on my approach shoes or something else, and my feet would either start hurting or they get really hot before the climb, and that leads to a bunch of problems. Whereas with this, I was able just to wear this shoe, and then once we got to the place that we were going to go climb, slide these things off and put my mountaineering boots on, and my feet were perfect. So I was really excited for that, and I would kind of view it as like the quote unquote approach ice climbing shoe, but not approach shoe because it's just for the drive. But they worked perfectly for that, and I'll continue to use them for that. And even with that being said, they have been working amazingly. Like I know Bedrock kind of shows these as like a good kind of cold weather shoe, but I like wearing these all the time. And I think that's also a really good thing for using them as like a rock climbing approach shoe, because these offer something that even their sandals can't offer, and that's toe protection. Like I've been using these as my approach shoe for rock climbing recently because we're in spring and summer right now, and it's getting warm out, and like I'd be tempted to wear like my sandals, but I really like having the toes claw protection, whether it's for like scrambling up climbs to set it up or anything. It's definitely nice to have your toes protected. And it's been really convenient too, because like I said, being able to use these without socks makes it so you can make that transition between boulder problems or transitions between climbs a lot easier. And I know that I was able to use these without socks and kind of scramble up this little thing to then set up a climb, but I was able to do it with my socks off and still feeling super secure, and like my feet were protected within the clog. So I will say that even though these are kind of marketed as like the shoulder season kind of shoe, they'll work great for any season, and I'm going to use them for all seasons. Like these will be a year-round shoe for me. Like I'll always be in the Mountain Clog, and I basically just live in these shoes now. Like, really. So with that being said, I'm excited to get more time with the Mountain Clog. I know it's going to be a good time because these things so far have been amazing for the last couple months. And I'm very excited to see how they work for summer. Like I said, I think they're an amazing all year shoe, and I'll definitely be wearing these all the time. So hopefully, I'll be able to see if there's any long-term durability issues or anything like that. As for now, I haven't seen really anything that's kind of a red flag. Maybe if anything, there's like a little seam right around here where it's kind of sewed onto. There's like a little bit of separation. I don't know how big of a problem that is, and I'll be sure to update with any type of video if that kind of blows out. I'll be sure to let everyone know. But as for right now, they're standing strong. I mean, I've gotten these things pretty muddy, I've gotten these things pretty wet, and they look in a really good condition. Even the sole is in amazing condition still. So I'm definitely excited to get more time on these. And even if I did happen to like rip something or wear out the sole, Bedrock Sandal again has an amazing kind of repair program as well, and they would be more than happy to repair these. So definitely be aware that Bedrock Sandal has an amazing repair program, warranty program, and resale program. So if you have any questions about the Mountain Clog, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll hopefully get to it as soon as I can, and hopefully I'll be able to answer your question. I've been able to spend a lot of time in these, and I have a good feel for how they are. These are kind of my daily shoes now, so I do have a lot of time in them. So like I said, hopefully I'll be able to answer your question. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.